99% of people have no idea how easy it is to remove a broken key from a lock. Today, I'm going to test out every method I found on YouTube for getting a key piece out of a lock. And of course, at the end of the video, I'll choose a winner. If you have manicure scissors, a nail file, a flat screwdriver, or anything similar, you might even try turning the lock with one of them and get inside the house first. Leave a comment and tell me what country and city you're from. I'm really curious. For testing, I'll be using two locks with two different keys. One is a flat key, and the other is a key with teeth. Today, I'm going to break a couple of keys just for you, or maybe more. We'll see how it goes. Notice that the flat key only inserts and removes horizontally. You can't take it out in any other position. But the key with teeth goes in and out vertically. That's very important. To remove the broken piece, you absolutely have to turn it into the position where it comes out freely. Let's hope you remember that position. If you use your lock often, it shouldn't be hard to recall. For the first and simplest method, we'll need a spare key for the lock. But this only works if you have access to the other side of the lock. Insert the spare key from the other side and push it in all the way. The broken piece comes out just a bit. Now you can easily pull it out with your fingers or with pliers or tweezers. It works the same with the key with teeth. Just don't forget to turn the broken key to the right position. And now, let's move on to probably the most popular method on YouTube. And that is hot glue. We'll need to heat up one end of a glue stick. I used a lighter for that. Then, with the melted end, press the stick firmly against the broken piece of the key. And wait a little while for the glue to cool down and set properly. Okay, the glue hardened. And drum roll, but the key didn't stick. Let's try again. No luck. Third try, I press it really hard, wait longer, and pull it out very carefully, gently wiggling it. And, oh yes, we managed to pull out the broken piece of the flat key. But to be honest, this method works maybe 1 out of 10 tries. And with the key with teeth, it didn't work even once. It seems like it's stuck in the lock more firmly than the flat key. Now let's try using a toothbrush. It's also something you might have in your bag or backpack. We'll need a lighter again. Heat up the tip of the toothbrush just a little, then immediately press it onto the broken piece. Wait a bit for it to cool down, and pull. And yes, hallelujah! It worked on the first try. But what if you don't have a toothbrush with you? I decided to go further. My key has a plastic head, so what if I melt one of its corners and try the same thing as with the toothbrush? I press it on, but the broken piece doesn't stick to this kind of plastic. Try it again. And again. Such a shame it didn't work with the plastic head, but the idea was good. Looks like the key is made of a different type of plastic. Maybe with your key it'll work, but hey, there might be something else in your bag besides a toothbrush. I grabbed a couple of ballpoint pens and tried the same trick with different parts. The cap, the plug, the pen body, none of it worked. What about the plastic ink tube? Let's try it. Oh my God, yes, it worked! Then I tried this method with a plastic card that didn't work. But it did work with a syringe. From all these experiments, I figured out that the broken piece doesn't stick well to hard plastic. But softer plastic, it actually sticks pretty well. That was with the flat key. But what about the key with teeth? Hot glue didn't work at all. Tried pulling with a toothbrush. No luck. Tried with another toothbrush. Nope. Third one, still nothing. Tried the pen tube filled with ink paste. Didn't work either. Once again, I come to the same conclusion. The key with teeth is held in the lock way more tightly than the flat one. I tried a couple more glue-based methods with the flat key. This time, we'll need a hot glue gun and a short piece of twine. First, I apply hot glue to the key. Then I attach the twine. Once the twine is secured, I add more glue. Waiting until it fully hardens, gently trying to pull it out. Didn't work. What if I just use hot glue directly? I'm making something like a little handle to grab onto, waiting for it to harden, trying to pull it out. Still didn't work. Now let's try using superglue. First of all, I'll try to glue the broken key piece itself. Unscrewing the cap, applying a thin layer of glue to the broken part of the key, connecting, and pressing it tightly. Holding it like this for 2 minutes. Unfortunately, it's impossible to keep the head of the key perfectly still just by holding it with your hands. That's why I doubt it'll stick well enough. Looks like the key is glued, but will we be able to pull it out of the keyhole? Trying very gently. Nope. The broken piece stayed inside. Now the second method. I'm putting a small drop of glue on the broken part of the key and attaching a short piece of twine. Let me say right away, all superglue methods are not safe. If you're not confident you can do everything carefully, then it's better not to try at all. If the glue gets inside, you might make it even worse, and it's possible that pulling the broken key piece out just like that won't be an option anymore. Everything inside might get glued completely. As soon as the twine is fixed, we add a bit more glue to the same spot, but this time on the twine itself. Waiting a few minutes for it to fully harden. Trying to pull, and it worked. I did the same thing with the key with teeth. Glued the twine, waited a few minutes. But the broken piece stayed inside. Now, the first thing that comes to mind is trying to hook the broken piece with something sharp. I found a safety pin, a regular needle, a syringe needle, a tailor's pin, and a fishing hook. Let's start with the hook and the lock for the flat key. My hook is pretty big. Trying to catch it, and looks like it's coming out. Got it! The broken piece is out. The second time it worked even easier. Experience pays off. Using a hook in a built-in lock might not be that easy though, so you can try bending the tip like this. Now the pin. You have to find a gap inside the keyhole to catch the piece somehow. The first tries failed. The broken piece pokes out a little, but then slips right back in. The key is to take it slow and press in a bit harder with the pin's point to get a better grip, bit by bit. I finally managed to pull it out. To make it easier, I bent the tip of the pin at a slight angle. Now it works like a lever and everything gets much simpler. Trying the tailor's pin now. It worked too, but when I bent the end of the tailor's pin, things didn't go as planned. The metal turned out to be too soft, and while I was pulling the broken piece out, the pin got all bent up. So yeah. With the syringe needle, it's even worse. The point is super thin and bends way too easily. No matter how hard I tried to hook it, nothing worked. Now I'm trying to grab the flat key piece with tweezers, but it's broken off too deep, and I can't reach it. On YouTube, I found a method using 2 knives. Let's test it. The knife tips have to be sharp enough to catch something, and you have to be very careful not to cut yourself. In the end, I couldn't grab the flat key at all with the knives. Maybe if I had sharper knife tips, this would have worked. But let's face it, life rarely gives us ideal conditions. Now the key with teeth that worked. It's much easier to get a grip on something in there. I insert the broken piece back in and try to grab it again with the bent pin. Even with the leverage, it's not easy. The piece starts to come out a little, but then slides right back in. The broken key with teeth holds inside the lock way tighter than the flat one. Let me try to make a bigger lever. I bend the tip of the pin at a steeper angle and try again. With a lot of precision and patience, I finally managed to pull the piece out. Now I can grab it with my fingers. But it wasn't easy at all. I tried to lift the broken piece a little with the pin and catch the edge using tweezers, but nothing worked. As soon as I touched it, it slid right back into the keyhole. I couldn't grab it with just the tweezers either, not even once. I didn't even try using the tailor's pin or the syringe needle with the key with teeth. They just bend and get ruined on this one. But the method that worked with 2 knives gave me an idea. What if I used other sharp tools instead? Like the same pin and a drawing compass. And it worked! And if you've got a knife and a pin, that worked too. But be super careful with a knife. By the way, I found another method on YouTube using a syringe needle. They say you just need to bend the very tip of the needle slightly, push it deep into one of the gaps in the keyhole, twist it inside, catch the broken piece, and pull it out. In the flat key lock, I couldn't find any gap where the needle would even fit. With the key with teeth, same thing. Didn't work. When I tried to hook and pull it, the tip of the needle kept bending back. I just couldn't grab anything. In the end, the needle got completely bent. You can give it a try. Maybe it'll work for you. What do you think could also help us remove a broken key from a lock? Next, we'll try double-sided tape, a small spring from a ballpoint pen or a lighter, a fret saw blade, a magnet, a self-tapping screw, and many other methods. But to keep this video from getting too long, I'll show all of that in part 2. It's possible that by the time you're watching this video, part 2 is already out. If you see an end screen with part 2 right now, click it and go check it out to find out which method worked best. And if it's not there yet, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you definitely don't miss it.